So today I wanted to talk to you guys about Soldier 76, a hero that used to have extremely high play rates, really high win rates, and overall just carried a lot of games for a lot of people into top 500 and other ranks such as that. But recently we've been seeing a sharp decline in Soldier, and by recently I mean over the past 3 months or so. Why did that happen? And of course as well, I'm going to answer the question, is Soldier a weak hero now? And let's just get straight into this. So the one thing I want to begin with talking about is the fact that Soldier has always been a playable hero in every single meta. And even in the past meta, I guess, with the Mercy meta, there was a spot to play this character. You could pick him up. In the meta before that, you could pick him up. Tank meta, he was okay. Every single meta, you can play him. And I'm never gonna say Soldier has ever really been weak. He's always a character that you can play, that you can main. But I think that the thing that we have to kind of keep in mind here is that while Soldier can always be effective because of his effective range that does consistent damage, his pretty good burst with the burst rocket, which isn't way too hard to hit, his really consistent healing on himself, and that nice mobility and a very consistent ultimate, you have to kind of compare all of that to the meta heroes and see if his plain out damage is stronger than the current meta hero synergy. And if it is stronger or similar strengths, you can pick up Soldier, while if it's quite a bit weaker, Soldier still is a viable pick, but probably not a pick that you want to go for as often. And I feel like that's kind of where Soldier has been for the past while. Let me use a good example right here that'll hopefully put out my point a little bit. Let's say that you have a Winston and a Genji together. Of course, there's a lot of obvious synergy there. They can dive on the enemy backline, get nice ultimates together. I guess Genji can get a nice ult while the Winston can kind of shield him with his E. And overall, you know, it's some pretty obvious synergy. But then if you're playing something like Winston and Soldier, they still can do quite a bit. They still can, you know, well, Winston can dive the backline and Soldier can add support from the mid line. And they still do just a lot of damage. But you kind of have to think about the situation. Is the Soldier damage or the Genji damage and Genji utility going to be more useful? And I feel like for the past few months, Soldier really just has still had enough damage to be useful, but the utility from his kit just isn't quite enough to make a lot of people play him. So I'm still going to say you can pick him up, but as far as during the Mercy meta, that's why people kind of dropped him down, even though he still was dealing ridiculous amounts of damage when he was in the position to deal that damage. Now, the next thing I want to say about why Soldier wasn't really picked way too much is because, well, I guess he couldn't really get picks that much compared to a lot of the other characters. Tracer could go into the enemy backline, get picks. Junkrat could kind of do the same thing, but just by spamming at the enemies with the damage boosted Mercy, which is a lot more effective in a lot of cases than a damage boosted Soldier 76. Widowmaker and Hanzo could get picks on offense, and in esports, we've been seeing a decent amount of all those characters because they could get picks and they could pretty much just waste the enemy Mercy's res. Soldier kind of has some more problems doing that, and while he can get a pick if he can hit that Helix rocket, it is a lot less reliable, and I feel like his reliable damage wasn't as important as if you did eventually somehow get a kill a Soldier, they could just be rezzed up and you couldn't get those really clutch picks that you kind of needed to get quite often against the Mercy meta to kind of just cancel them out, to be honest. Something else I also want to talk about, though, to why Soldier really wasn't played way too much, at least in the previous meta, is that while his ult did counter the Mercy ult, McCree's ult countered Mercy ult just pretty much better. With McCree's ult, you could press ultimate, it would charge up, and then you could one-shot the Pharah or the Mercy or whoever's in the air. But with Soldier, you had to aim at her, consistently shoot her, and it took a decent amount of time to kill her because she would still be self-healing while you were shooting her, just taking overall a lot longer time and giving her more time to escape that ultimate, and as well more time for people to put up barriers in front of her or to get shielded from, let's say, somebody like a Zarya, or to even just be healed by another one of the supports and make so it takes even longer for the Soldier ult to kill her. I think that was a big problem about this because killing the Mercy was so important, and while he could ult to kill the Mercy, McCree could just kind of do it better. And as well, McCree had a little bit more pick potential, and McCree could kind of play a bit better in that closer range area that McCree's always been good at. So I think that's why McCree has been showing up quite a bit more often than Soldier, at least in that meta. But now that the meta's changed up a little bit, I'm expecting to see more Soldier because I think Soldier's ultimate in general is more consistent than McCree's, and in general can do a lot more damage than McCree's and get more kills. It's just against Mercy that's where I think that the McCree ultimate had a bit of an advantage. Soldier versus Widowmaker is another thing that I want to talk about really briefly. Widowmaker is being more popular, especially when you're watching esports, and I feel like Widowmaker is just a pick that Soldier can't really play much against. You can try to just ignore her and go after her teammates, and that will actually allow you to do more damage than the Widow. But as far as trying to just face her 1 versus 1, there's not much that you can do. In a lot of cases, since you're going to have to play really close range anyway, because the Widow's kind of blocking off the far range, McCree might just be a better pick. So I think that's another reason why in esports, people have been picking McCree over Soldier because Widowmaker is kind of a problem there. And maybe that's just what I'm personally thinking, but I think that could be kind of a problem to why you might not want to pick a Soldier, especially on a super open map. On a mid-range map, Soldier I feel like could be a decent pick against Widowmaker, but on a very open map like Junkertown, it's going to be kind of hard for you. Now, on a different note, a thing that I feel like is especially important in competitive compared to esports is the lack of nano visor on Soldier. Now, I know that Soldier doesn't 100% need to get nanoed when he's visoring to get kills, but I think that's honestly what helped a lot of soldiers climb up the ranks, being able to get on high ground, press that ultimate button, get nanoed, and then just completely wipe the enemy team. That was a super good thing that Soldier could do that not way too many other characters could do so consistently. Even Genji couldn't kill the enemy backline as consistently because Genji might run out of his shift, or the Swift Strike, while Soldier could just keep blasting at them. With Mercy being able to counteract this ultimate, stop it from having the kills be way too effective because Mercy can hide around a corner and then res people after you finish ulting. With all that in mind, it kind of makes sense to why there wasn't Nano Visor played, but now that Nano Visor is going to be back into the game and back into competitive, I think that might be a nice boost to get Soldier played a little bit more, especially on offense. And the final thing that I'm going to talk about to why I feel like he was played quite a bit less is the fact that he couldn't spam as much damage out as Junkrat in the spam meta. He could get out a decent amount of damage, and I feel like we did see a decent amount of teams play Junkrat and Soldier both spamming at the enemy Orisa shields or the enemy Orisa and Reinhardt shields, trying to break through those. But if you just had to play one character to spam with a flanker as your other DPS, I think it's pretty hard to make the case that you should be playing Soldier over Junkrat. The AoE damage and just the plain out damage was just better on Junkrat. And now that Junkrat's been nerfed a little bit, and now that we're going to be seeing less Orisa, I think that we might again be seeing more Soldier, but I think him just not fitting in too well to the spam meta made him play it a bit less. He did fit in okay, as in, you know, fitting in okay with every single meta, but just not quite as well as Junkrat, and that's kind of just a thing that you're going to be seeing a lot with Soldier 76. Now, right here I want to talk about some of the reasons why Soldier will be played more, and hopefully will be thought of as a pretty strong hero. I don't want him to become super overpowered as he was sometimes in the past. That's kind of hard to deal with because there's just range, but I hope that he can become thought of again as a medium power hero that you can pick up pretty much anywhere. And here are some of the reasons to why I feel like that is going to be happening. So first off, we are going to be seeing more Ana and Reinhardt. And both those characters are good with Soldier and good when facing against Soldier. Soldier, you know, of course, Nano Visor, that's just plain out strong. And Ana doesn't really have any super good way to counter that, so playing against an Ana can kill her easily with that as well. Another thing though is of course Reinhardt. Reinhardt is good with Soldier because Reinhardt can get in there, get a lot of damage, take out a lot of attention, and then you as Soldier can just kind of wipe the enemy front line, dealing a lot of consistent damage. But again, when you're playing against a Reinhardt, it's very strong as well because you can spam against his shield, and your spam against a Reinhardt shield actually kind of matters. I mean, when you were spamming against the Orisa shield, if you couldn't break it, you were just kind of wasting your time. But if it's against a Reinhardt shield, you're still breaking that shield little by little, and I think just both those heroes coming back will hopefully help him out a little bit in that case. Another thing that is going to be helping you right now is that Pocket Mercy isn't really going to be there as much anymore, and I think there's going to be more opportunities for Soldier's consistent damage to finish off picks. If somebody's being pocketed when you are playing Soldier at medium range, you probably can't kill them, and when you're playing against Mercy, that happens quite often. But when you're playing against Lucio, you can kind of damage through that. Against Zenyatta, again, the orb you can damage through, and against Ana, she can't be switching targets way too easily. She might miss a few shots, so there's the benefit to that, and oftentimes she's going for damage. Against Moira, she can only heal for a certain amount of time, and then you can go out and try to finish off these kills. And before that, you can just try to waste your healing by getting out, again, consistent damage. I think just playing against Mercy is kind of hard as a Soldier player if the Mercy actually kind of knows what she is doing. But with that out of the way a little bit, I think, again, he's probably going to become quite a bit better, especially not having to deal with stuff like Pocket Junkrat and Pocket Pharah, which Soldier couldn't really deal with all too much. And I think that was a big problem about him. Orisa not having way too much shields being put out anymore, I think could also be a thing that is good for Soldier. Having more Reinhardt, having less Mercy, having less spam comp will probably be, you know, less Orisa. And that was a character that Soldier had a lot of problems with as well. So I'm hoping that her being down a little bit and the spam comp being down a little bit will help out this character. And one final thing that I want to talk about is that there are going to be more flankers in this meta. I think that's just pretty obvious. Whenever a big meta change comes out, a lot of flankers become good or a lot of tanks become good, which Soldier's good against both of those, so that's nice for him. But if more flankers are played, that gives Soldier a higher chance to kill them compared to the spam comp, which is really hard for him to kill people, but also more of a chance for them to kill you. So I think it will just increase the skill cap for this character again, increase, you know, the potential to make outplays with this character, and overall make the character just a little bit more fun again. And in the end, I want to say again, though, that Soldier is always a okay hero to main. No matter what the situation is, no matter what the meta is, there's always a decent place to put in Soldier. It might be kind of hard to climb with him if he's not the best right then, but you can at least stay at your rank without way too much trouble. But in the new meta that's coming up soon, I think that Soldier is, again, going to be a pretty good pick. So if you like the character, or if you just want to have a DPS character there that you can just kind of fill on, because sometimes that does happen when you are a support or a tank main, I think Soldier might once again be a good character to do that with. Anyways, as always, guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please tell me your own opinions about Soldier 76 down in the comment section below. Do you think that he was ever weak, or do you think that people just kind of thought something wrong? I do want to hear you guys' opinions. Anyways, as always, guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Press the subscribe button. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.